All right. It's a possibility. So, yesterday we're working through a hero unit, and we worked on identifying the hero. So that's all well and good. But now let's see if we can reach for something a little bit higher. And we saw how two other people defined a hero. And so let's work on seeing if we can define the hero for ourselves. We kind of started out with the closure of the lesson yesterday where we said a hero is blank. And so I pulled out a few of those that I thought were significantly profound. And so some of those were like, a hero is strong-minded, or a hero is sacrificial, which you talked about, Pearl, with Spider-Man. That a hero is love. I thought that one was sweet. A hero is alone. What does that imply? That they always walk a lonely road? Right. Green Day? I mean, I gotta reference that. And that a hero is selfless. So it brings in that idea of sacrificial love, being alone. That it's a complicated kind of idea. So do we feel like those words, sacrificial, love, strong-minded, alone, fit the hero? Yes? Would we disagree with any of those? No?
Not now. I mean, maybe if you looked at before we had this conversation, before we really thought about it, yeah.
So before we worked on the identifying?
Yeah.
But now that we unpacked with Bonnie Tyler and Fight for Fighting, we feel more like, pretty accurate.
Yeah.
All right. So what I want us to work on then for the beginning of class is, if you'll open up and go ahead and get out your packet from yesterday.
It's good.
Well, then you're getting into the dichotomy, Fabian, of hero versus heroine.
Harambe is a great hero. He was an amazing hero.
All right, so if you'll flip over past. Oh, I'm not worried about that. So if we'll look past Superman, past those discussion questions on the other side, you'll see a paper titled Defining the Hero. And that's kind of answering our essential question. How would you, personally, define a hero? So I want you to write a paragraph for me. 5 to 7 sentences. Are we listening, Andres? All right. 5 to 7 sentences, concisely explaining your beliefs on what makes someone a hero. So I'm not asking you to specifically pick a person. I'm just telling you to give me, in a paragraph, a bunch of affirmative statements, almost like a list of what a hero needs to be a hero. What qualities, what duties, like we did with the songs yesterday. But these are your own instilled beliefs, your own terms of what a hero is. So consider, like, what does the hero have to have? How should they act? What duties do they have to fulfill? What kinds of things do they need? Do they need a certain skill set? Do they need material wealth? Any of those kinds of things. And so go ahead and write that out for me. And then as we start to get done, we'll work into another think, pair, share. So you can turn to a partner and be like, well, this is what I thought a hero was. What did you say? And see if you can start to argue your belief. And say, well, we agree on this, but we disagree on this. And why is that? And I'll be coming around to look over these with you. each other's. Share your ideas. Do we want the lights back on? No, keep them off? All right. But I mean, like, it looks like you got some new cloth. Can you hop off the desk for me though, Montana?
Overall, without expecting anything.
My thing was that they can't follow and they should always go and support their beliefs with everything. Along with the rest of the community, they're not.
That's what I thought. So let's get back to it.
Pinocchio is a hero. Huh? He's a hero.
Why didn't I get a conversation?
Wait, I have one more. Oh, they have to be human. Like they can be
Argue with yourself.
A hero is human. I have anxiety.
All right. So a lot of us are finishing up. So. Oh, you haven't started? We just started. Sorry. I wanted to let you have enough time. I noticed that some people will finish. So go ahead. Take it.
Not everybody is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was really
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Yes, right. You were saying.
I really like
There is a difference.
I really.
Yes. Yeah. Did y'all disagree or agree?
See, I can understand. I just like slurs. I'm gonna make it. No, I got a strong body.
That word.
Which that you're still
I
fast.
agree.
Yeah, it's fast.
Keep your opinions and your values.
What's a hero?
What's one thing because it did say next Tuesday, so I was like,
I ended up like
All right. So we worked through what the hero is in our own terms, right? And we've given our own definition. So now let's read two more published definitions. Not songs this time, but actual written works. So if you'll flip over from Defining the Hero, and you'll see Where I Find My Heroes by Oliver Stone. Anybody familiar with the name Oliver Stone? Where have you heard that before, Andres?
I've heard about it.
But it's not like the ringing the bell, like you can't identify it. Anybody else? All right. Yeah, he does deal with movies. He's a director. And so in this passage, he's talking about Where I Find My Heroes up at the top. And this was published back in '92 in Fall magazine. So this next segment of the lesson, I want to focus on the strategy of reciprocal teaching. Do I have you taken? All right. So we're working with reciprocal teaching. How many of us have done that before? Heard those words? Pre-work and force? And we'll be going through it again, so don't worry if you've forgotten. So, when you read a passage in reciprocal teaching, you'll get these handy-dandy little note cards, and you deal with questioning, clarifying, summarizing, and then predicting what comes next. So, if I'm looking down at Where I Find My Heroes, and I'm reading the first passage, and it says, "It's not true that there are no heroes anymore." Bold claim. But it is true that my own concept of heroism has changed radically over time. When I was young and I read the Random House biographies, my heroes were people like George Washington and General Custer and Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt. Men, generally, and doers. Women, with the exception of Clara Barton, Florence Nightingale, and Joan of Arc, got the short shrift. Most history was oriented toward male heroes. Do we agree with that
Yes.
so far? From the myths that we've been reading, mostly male? And what were you saying, Brianna? How is this, starting this passage, how is it already making you feel?
I turned her and said, "This is gonna make me mad."
Yeah, that's what I thought. So let's see. So, okay. Well, you're jumping ahead, so we'll move into that in just a second. So, if I'm questioning, if I'm asking questions about a text that you have to find a purpose and a reason for reading and it helps deepen your understanding, then I can look at this and I can say, okay, what questions can I ask that I'm not sure about things? And I see these names like George Washington, General Custer, Civil War veteran, Abraham Lincoln. I recognize those kinds of names. Those were my history books, male heroes, right? But then there are these women down at the bottom that I'm not as familiar with, like Clara Barton, Florence Nightingale, and Joan of Arc. So I personally had to do my own research. I had to ask questions and then find answers. Like Clara Barton, who she defined modern medicine in the U.S. because she helped found the American Red Cross. But then you've got Florence Nightingale, who predated Clara Barton, and she defined what is modern-age nursing. They called her the lady with the lamp because she'd walk around at night through all the wards to check in on her patients. And then Joan of Arc got a sainthood from the Catholic Church after she was burned at the stake for standing up for what she believed in France during the 100 Years' War. So all these different aspects of heroes that I'm questioning to try to deepen my understanding. So then one person in our groups will be the questioner, and this will rotate around. And then one person will be clarifying. And so what does it mean to clarify? It means making things clearer. Clarifying helps you recognize when you don't understand parts of the text. So you can think of like vocabulary in the text that's kind of wordy. So I was thinking like, what does it mean that he has radically changed his definition over time? Was it a slow fade? Or so it's quick, they're big jumps. So he had whole changes in belief at times as he grew up. And then, has anybody ever seen the phrase got the short shrift before? It looks like at first, like I've always heard get the short shift, but actually it's short shrift is the actual term. Has anybody read, like if you've taken British literature, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner? So, like, remember at the end of that, Molly, where he's like, "Oh, shrieve me, holy man." And you're like, what does that mean? He's saying, confess me, let me give my final confession. So if they get the short shrift, they don't get to say everything about them. Joan of Arc, Clara Barton, and Florence Nightingale, they got the short shrift. They didn't get to give their last confession. They don't get to say who they are throughout the testament of time, while all these male heroes have. So moving on then from clarifying, you're summarizing what the text means, picking out the main ideas, and leaving out anything that's not essential. So what is Oliver Stone saying here? What do you think his main idea is? That women need more representation, maybe? Or just simply that they haven't gotten it? That they haven't gotten it. Anybody else see any other summary that they take away from this?
Everyone can take their own concept of what a hero is.
And we all change, possibly, radically over time. And then you're going to say, for your final piece, predicting. A prediction is a good guess about what you think you will find out about or what you will happen next in a text. So, Brianna, what are you predicting is going to happen next? Share it with me, I'm listening.
Predicting is gonna.
Say that again.
Oh.
Oh, he's not in the room right now. You can go back in a minute. His student teacher. To where? Will do. Why don't you share with me, Brianna? Bring it up. And Andres, they need you in front. Hope you didn't do anything. But I was listening to you. I was turning that out.
I don't know. I just feel like
They would just started screaming at my ear.
it's easy for these people like who write these to get preachy and didactic, and like they just they think they're saving all the women everywhere for like acknowledging them, like.
And you're saying you're like, okay, I get it. You're acknowledging women. That's
You're
not
not
good
like
enough.
we're not gonna anoint you king for doing that.
Good. I like that. All right. Well, do we feel like we have an understanding? Like we're questioning, we're clarifying, we're summarizing, and we're predicting, like Brianna. And so, what I want you to go ahead and do is get into these groups that I've made for you based off of research and theory and lifestyle. That's why we take it all right. Oh, I knew that was coming.
Wow.
You don't think it's too painful. You all like each other. But these are your groups for you. So I'm gonna, you'll hit the lights for me, Justin. Thank you. All right. And bring it in. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. All right. So what I want is group 1 right over here in this corner. Group 2 right over here. Oh no, we have to move and kinesthetically engage ourselves. You'll be good, I promise you.
Okay.
And then group 3 back here. And then group 4 and group 5. I did it just for you. Group 3 is right here.
Am I gonna need a pencil?
Yes.
Sir.
No, she's
You should be.
Yeah, you did speak your name, sir.
2 and 4.
It's Brianna. You're in group 4. Brianna, you're in group 2. Excuse that. It's a typo.
I'm in group 2 or 4 because you're pointing at 4.
You're in 2. You're in 2.
Where's group 5 at?
Right here.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Alright, now I'm going to come around to each group and give you one of these cards. There you go. You start out with one person in the group. We'll do the first part. So, like, I'll model it for you once we're done. And what group still needs one? That one. Alright. So, what you're going to be doing, if you'll allow me to borrow that from you, is one of you will start and be like, okay, so I'm at the front, so I'm holding this first, so I'm doing the questioning. And then you'll pass it along, and that person will work on the clarifying. And then Ruth, you would pass it along, and you'll do summarizing for this one. And then we'll pass it along and do predicting. And then it doesn't matter who starts at each passage. But I want it going around. So one person does questioning, one person does clarifying, one person does summarizing, one person does predicting. But by the end of it, you should have all done each part once. Make sense? So eventually, you'll all do the same things.
So how often do we pass it around? Like
Each chunk.
paragraph?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Feel free to read out loud if you would like to.
Your question.
I'll read it. But it's not in order. And so or I've been forced to re-examine them. Why it's the end of heroes.
We don't have.
What is true?
You didn't get it?
Where are we?
All
I
right.
mean, you can just tell us what it is.
No, I've got another one.
Very clear.
They grabbed 5. Somebody must have grabbed 2.
Crossing the Delaware was magnificent. I'm not magnificent action. But I am saying that I think the meaning of heroism.
There you go, Montana. You're welcome.
I'm in contact with them and I work at Terra on board.
I was impressed by his life change from a patriotic and strong-willed athlete to someone who had to deal with the tough surrender of his body and grew into a non-violent and peaceful advocate of change in the Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi tradition. So heroism is tied to an evolution of consciousness. What did he just say? Yeah, that's my question.
I don't know, like, he's
I'm
talking about
confused.
what is the definition of being a higher human being?
He's like bringing up past history stuff.
So if you've got that question, could somebody clarify and then say what are these things in history that he's asking about?
I think he just means like having a higher not like an understanding, but like being more apt to just deal with whatever life throws, like not getting angry, like this guy, the paraplegic, he's not getting angry, he's not like he's just, okay, it happened, now moving on.
Yeah,
Like not spend. I guess by higher human being he means someone who doesn't spend time regretting. Yeah,
Will you join in with your group, Andres?
Summarizing. Okay, Andrew.
Okay. But
I think it's basically,
it
you
says
know,
that
no, he's like, he just talks about like past events like in American history, or like just the country itself, and like how it, because he starts as across the Delaware and then he jumps like Martin Luther King.
Is he trying to lead to like America being
What do you
predict?
What you said about being American hero, maybe, because he refers to a lot of stuff with like America, like coming to be American or whatever before it was. So I guess that.
I'm questioning, you're clarifying, you're summarizing, and you're
Paraplegic.
I've heard that word, I don't know what it means. Basically means disabled. Yeah, whenever you think of paraplegic, just think disabled.
Well, is there a difference? Have you heard the term quadriplegic?
I have.
Mm-hmm. A quadriplegic, what is a quad? Like a quadrilateral? 4 sides? So we have 4 limbs, and if you're a quadriplegic, all 4 of them don't work.
So
So if you're paraplegic, just 2. Mhm. Usually your legs, because it's usually a spinal problem.
It starts out
that clarifying it, saying that even a crippled person can be a hero.
and everything. So
Like we used to think heroism was fighting people, and it grew into people like Martin Luther King.
yeah, it just changes. Like as you get older, your idea of
In trying to really saying that like in everyday life he has to try to teach his kids about it. And he's not married to his wife, so he has to be a father and a mother.
So it
And
was about how
that's it.
something about not crossing the Delaware. That was pretty well in one sentence.
It really is.
Well, let me just read that last sentence for you then. Let me find it.
Oh my goodness. We're on chunk 2. Last minute.
Sorry, I'm just doing this.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Huge things.
Who's writing it figured that out, like,
Yeah.
not only through the core, but also through, like, the piece and everything. Let's see.
The band that point.
It says, we basically, like, already something.
Right.
So, that's like what we just talked about.
I'll read it if you want.
Because it says the last time, so here is a kind of evolution of consciousness. So it's like, yeah,
What is her?
it's like who your character is and like
I need to find cures for disease.
who you want to
He's
know
got
as
one crack. The inner city kid that works for McDonald's
predicting.
instead of selling drugs. The kid who stands alone instead of joining gang and give him an instant identity. A celebrity remains modest and treats others with respect, or uses his position in society. The student who prefers the immediate pleasure of making money and finishing college has people who take risks from wheelchairs and
A lot of times,
Hi.
we have to do like what made him turn.
Are y'all reading it aloud to each other or quietly?
I think
And then discussing it?
Okay, well,
I think everyone does.
I feel like it's talking about like overcoming your situation and makes you a hero.
yeah.
Like I don't.
So
I
it
see where
goes
it's
back to how
going.
you were being a hero for yourself. Like,
It was
yeah,
rough.
and not he's kind of referring to like this one he's referring to yeah. Like everyone's referring
Like,
to
I-
himself, not
I like
other
making,
things.
but I guess at the bottom paragraph, we just didn't really like. No, yeah.
Not open for like other people's insights.
Right.
Trying to think of what I can ask.
So, do y'all think that ordinary people who do everything, everyday things, do you think, like, you know, trying to help their children, you know, get through life as they grow older, or, you know, like getting a college degree, graduating?
I think that can go back to kind of what we were talking about in the last paragraph, where it kind of goes some of the behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
Because everyone doesn't think, you know, just being a parent makes you a hero, but in reality, everything they do, he's saying, screw you.
Just doing the
Parts of that,
Like yeah, I feel like he is like kind of putting it together. It kind of fell apart.
So,
I kind of
well, basically, it just goes along with what I was just saying.
What's up?
We were just saying how you were doing a good job.
Lexi.
Are we supposed to read the other thing?
Yes. Go ahead and continue on to the back if you finish with the front.
Parent is an act of heroism.
Well, you are.
No, we're not done yet. Those relate really well to stones, so I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on them. Yes, ma'am. Because it goes 5-6, keeps going.
But it's a different thing.
but it's like a different piece, right?
It is. It's an excerpt from The Power of Myth instead of from
Okay.
Stone.
So I'm gonna read this.
In this picture of easy religion, actually care and adding to personal life and do things without
Yeah, sort of like that, yeah. Summarize what you said or summarize it? Summarize, yeah, the little paragraph. Basically saying anyone can be a hero. And a lot of the heroes you don't realize are heroes because they don't get recognized, like you had said, or like mothers and fathers you don't realize are like heroes every day to their kids, and so they do.
Yeah.
And they don't get recognized for it. I mean, you don't get a mother.
Okay, but if that's the case, then
that's something that like not you know still hitting on.
you have to have regular people. Yeah. Right, like. Right.
Yeah.
And not really.
That's kind of what
Defined it.
What did you say? Heroes are everyday common people.
Oh, okay.
Just summarize it. Okay, now you get to predict.
Okay, let's see. You told a personal anecdote, and now maybe he's trying to prove it.
If you realize that the real problem
Give
is
an example of awareness. You have to have experience.
Alright, so let's start.
I see that like that. You're always gonna have that. They're always gonna be.
So if you're finishing up now, like some groups are, go ahead and start discussing these questions in your group.
The celebrity who remains modest and treats others with respect, or who
If you finish up with your choice, go ahead and start looking over those questions.
defers the immediate pleasure of making money and finishes college or hospital. People who take rises.
Yeah.
Risk despite fears. People in wheelchairs. We have a lot of corruption in our society, but we mustn't assume that everything is always basely motivated. We should allow for the heroic
Stone has no right to call on us to do anything.
which is
First of
greater
all,
than
he's
What do you
to
think?
find.
I said Stone has no right to call on us to do anything. The guy with the it was 92. It might have been a typewriter. Like that's all, literally that's it.
So you're saying like he's not a hero. Why does he have this?
Right, he can't call on us to do anything. Like he's just there.
Ask a question. Ask a question.
What?
So it's not even what he's asking; it's his audacity to ask.
Ask, yeah. And I called it. He did get preaching didactic at the end. He
Yeah, he
was
doesn't.
so preachy.
Do you think Mr. Leonard would have agreed with what he wrote?
Yes.
Would that have flown in language? To be that didactic?
Yes. Yes. Are you kidding?
But like on a 1 to 9 scale, do you think that he would have been counted off on his
Yes.
AP Lang test?
Because you're not supposed to talk down to the reader.
And you feel like he's talking down to you?
He's talking about like he's right. Like he's not saying we did anything wrong. He's just saying I'm gonna impart this wisdom on you.
The wisdom of mind.
Right.
Okay, clarify.
Right. Like, because if anyone's gonna have the power to call on anyone to do anything, it's home to this paraplegic guy. But that's like that.
He's the one.
It's ironic because
Right.
it's ironic because his point here is talking about how he just accepts things, but this guy is coming in saying, okay, this. Sir, no, just direct your movies and be quiet.
Alright.
Like people with disabilities. Yeah, they check out. Yeah. So how are you interested in shopping or maybe consider
What do you say?
we have the young novice bar. Not give up. Instead of like judging. Something like that. Basically, like listing our version of heroes and it also says that we have to grow, and then that growth is
Like
and stop. We need to accept growth and because that's virtue. So we need to learn our generation and future generations to come need to learn to come together, and not kind of make those who want to grow become outcasts. Please stop. Let Jacob predict.
Stop reading it. Predict.
Oh my gosh.
Hey.
Let him predict.
That's what Thank You Lang is looking at right now.
So do you go home and actually watch these?
Yes, I do.
Do you film every single class?
No, just mythology. You're the only. These are the only.
And I signed up for IT before I got my driver's results back. That's literally the only reason. Because I don't think I can test that many more classes.
You feel like we kind of wrapped up the whole.
Are y'all finished?
Five. We're on chunk 5. We're moving.
Alright, let's just begin to wrap it up. And then we'll go over these questions.
Yeah, we kind of do chunk 5 and 6 together. Yeah, all at once.
If we can convince her to put this on.
Yeah, just some. Hey y'all, we still have some groups working. Let's try to get the volume down.
Okay. I have rice. You weren't in the there. I have it probably.
This was the one that's like, or no, it's a galaxy note that's literally igniting. It is bursting into flames. Someone's like, there's a picture. This guy had like in his car, and his whole car was it a Jeep?
Yes.
His whole car got fire.
And then now the airlines are going to be
Like to shut them off because
what happened?
the galaxy note sounds like and it was
I really love it. Will y'all stay on task?
yeah.
I know you are.
Are you roasting us?
You realize that this is just so
I keep looking around and then I'm seeing like this legs like crossed like with a cup of coffee.
No, everybody talks at once. We're not going to have like a full Socratic seminar. How was the project over? We got some very vocal. Also, have one of those classes. Moving down the line. Alright, so we're finishing up now. But let's go ahead and try to unpack these questions, because most of they relate just over the front page, over what Stone is saying. So, do you agree with Stone's version of the hero? Why or why not? Raise your hand and somebody say that they would and why, or why not. Yes, ma'am.
For the most part, I do. He's talking about, doing stuff to. He lists some stuff at the end about, and the kid who says no to crack and all this kind of stuff. I mean, yeah. But also just the delivery of the information made.
So it's his tone that you have a problem
Yeah, it's like haughty almost. Like he's trying. I can't explain. Like he's preaching didactic. Like that is the only way. Like he's preaching at it. Like he's preaching at.
calling us to be better.
Right, and he has no. He's a guy with a computer. That's it. Like he hasn't done.
So you'd like to know what he's accomplished.
Right, I don't know about this guy.
Okay.
But like, I don't know that he has the authority to do that.
Mm-hmm. So, but after you've read what he said, though it may be preachy and didactic, would you reevaluate what you wrote in your hero paragraph? Would you change anything, or did it only affirm your beliefs?
I feel like it affirmed us because we had already. If we would have came in yesterday maybe and talked about this, it might have changed.
You think it would have gear shifted you?
Right.
Because I wanted you to write that definition first, because I didn't want you to be biased based on somebody else's arguments. All right, and then for the third one, if Stone is right, and like Campbell said on the back, that it's a transformation of consciousness. It's an evolution of consciousness. Is our generation's consciousness moving toward virtue? It does, doesn't it? So tomorrow we're going to come in and have our 4-quarter debate discussion. If you'll move your desks back in order. We've identified the hero. Still listen to me real quick. I know we're finishing up. We've identified the hero. We've defined the hero. Now let's see if we can justify and argue for the hero. Thank you, man. Y'all have a great day. Be safe, be kind, make it back. He was working with Miss Eller this period. I'm kind of thinking.
Just kidding.
Anybody else have?
You'll do fine. You have to read it out of this. You have it.
Oh man, I can't time right. And you have to.
It wasn't fun.
I regret today.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Miss Chapel.
I wish I did.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Tell the other sir I said bye.
I will.
I'm new to this, like what?
I know he very much likes Walt Whitman.
Yeah. He had us do that in third grade. Love it.
He likes Walt Whitman a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.